All right. What's up, everybody? Jeff Herschy here as we kick off the top of the hour. I want to make sure that we have folks in the group, in the chat as we get going, ready to go. Steve, what's going on? So it looks like we have folks in here, so we're good. Make sure, Steve, you can hear me, see me, all that good stuff. I got the team with me. I'm actually going to just pop up myself as we get going and get started here. Let me know that you guys can see me. You should have seen the entire team as we get going. Obviously, we are recording this as well, so anybody can see this on demand. We'll post this in the school group as we get in. This one's a really cool one. This is a really great gap filler for a lot of folks. Like, you go out and you get leads, you go through the process of prospecting and kind of figuring out, like, hey, who am I going to reach out to? And then you know how to like close deals and get clients, and you have all the tools to do the fulfillment. But there's this like gap in the middle that I'll talk about here in a little bit, where most folks that we talk to are missing, like, hey, what do I do? How do I actually get their attention? How do I reach out? Like, what is the automations and stuff that you use? So today what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to bring in my entire team. Okay. And which is really cool for us, because when I bring in the entire team, you guys are going to get to see the folks behind the magic that happens inside of our agency and our businesses. And we're not only running this for just my company, which we'll talk about Reviewly here today, but we actually run this for an agency. I actually have installed this and are putting it into some of my clients for outreach as well, because of how this conversation engine has been created. It is now able to be installed into your agency. It is able to be installed into our clients. And it's a snapshot that we're using from high level that each and every one of you will be able to use and take and be able to set up from there. So while I figure out how to actually share the slides as we get in, I'm actually going to bring in everybody. Oh, that's on the team. Looks like Ben's got his camera off. There he is. From there. So these are the guys behind the scenes in my company that actually make it happen. So we'll start off for me. You got the top right. We got Sebastian. Sebastian, you guys will see a lot more of him tomorrow. He and I actually are doing the bonus call for everybody that grabbed the conversation accelerator. We're going to walk you through the live case study tomorrow. But he's the one that built the extension that we're going to show you today that Kevin and the team use from there. Sebastian is our AI specialist inside of the company. He wasn't necessarily brought on board to be our quote unquote AI guy, but after seeing his skill set and a couple other things that he was doing, I basically just said, you are now our AI guy. And he has free reign on Claude, all the AI skills and tools and everything out there. And he built some really, really impressive things for our company, which you guys will get to see over the next couple months. But the extension that you are going to see today he's the one that built it, and you guys will be able to have access to that today. I'm going to show you where that is as we get going. We got Ben in the bottom left of the Brady Bunch screen here. Ben has actually been with me for 6 years now, Ben, something like that.
Yeah.
He's been here for a long time. When it comes to high level, sending my emails, setting up these snapshots and doing everything like that, I don't really log in to the high level account anymore. Ben handles all of that for our company from there. So when it comes to any technical support or things like that, I rely on somebody like him to come in and make sure that everything's set up. I kind of just give the big picture direction, and then he handles it all from there. And then we've got Kevin in the bottom right, who's been with us for a little less than a year now. He is our director of sales. So we've got our director of AI, director of sales, marketing, and all our technology. And then we now have, a director of sales, where I actually don't do any of our sales demos anymore. I've handed them all over to Kevin. And you guys are going to hear a lot from him. I think if you did the pivot program, the conversation that closes, you've seen Kevin before. And he actually runs 3 folks underneath him right now to do all of our outbound outreach and calling and stuff like that book and set demos for him. They're here to help me make sure that everything is said properly, showed and demonstrated to you guys as we go through. And each and every one of you guys has an understanding of like what we do for the products from there. So what I need to do is I actually need to add in another. I need to actually remove myself. I need to stop my screen, and I need to update and share my whole screen here. Let me upload the deck from my computer. So we're just going to do it that way for you guys. Let's go into products, and we need to get this into the live call. So I'm going to upload the docs for you guys today as we end, because what we're going to do is we're going to pull back the curtain from there, and we're going to go through and we're going to make sure that you guys have everything that you need to be able to understand how to actually have conversations with business owners to be able to go through from there. So while this is uploading, it's already uploaded. You guys have anything you guys want to add in or say, or anything that I missed prior to us getting on? Kevin, Ben, or Sebastian? I got to know from Sebastian. Better, Kevin, you guys good? All right, let's jump in. We're going to pop you guys off screen. I'm going to add in the deck to the stage, and then we're just going to put me in the bottom corner here. Kevin, and you can just hide your video for right now. That way they can all see the screen. I'm actually going to hide myself as well. All right, so here's the deal. Today's goal, like we talked about on the sales presentation that got everybody into the conversation engine, is we're going to pull back the curtain of what's working inside of my agency, inside of our business from here. We're going to show you everything. We're actually not only going to show it to you, we're going to give you the snapshots and the access, but we're going to show you live accounts. And I think we're going to pull up Kevin's account as well. Like how to install the snapshot, how to get our workflow, how we actually do our outreach. So while we're on this call, I have 4 people working in the background. One primarily in doing outreach via DMs. I've got 3 dialers as well. So business development reps or BDRs. Again, if you're a solo entrepreneur agency, you don't need to have a full team to do this, but this is how we get to scale, right? We're going to show you our pipeline. We have built in some follow-up sequences that we're using that we're going to give to you from there. And it's basically the full operating system that we are running today. We're running every day. And we run it Monday through Friday for some of our staff, but some of this runs 7 days a week as we get in. Now, a disclaimer here. We're going to show you our business. You don't necessarily have to copy our business word for word, what we do. Some of you don't sell what we sell. Copy the system, the process. Your offer can be different. It may be different. Your niche may not be the niche that we're in right now. This month, we are targeting med spas. Okay. I'm not hiding that from anybody. This engine, we can move this to any niche and we can move this to any offer. It works for agencies, right? We're using this for a couple of agencies. We're using it for our software company, which is we're going to demonstrate here today for you, because a lot of you sell or resell our software as white label resellers of Reviewly.ai. If you're a consultant, we have an insurance company using this as well. Service businesses as well. It doesn't matter. It works for any business of any kind. Okay. So all you need to do is just repurpose this engine each and every time and then customize it for yourself. Now, the problem that we saw and identified here, we've been building this for the last couple of years, 2 years or so. And here, actually, I think we're just under 2 years because we started using high level. It'll be 2 years this like November or so. So we're pretty close. Okay. Nobody teaches you kind of what happens once you get the leads. Okay. They talk about sales and clients, and when you're on a demo, give this pitch deck, or here's the offer you need to make. Okay. The gap in the middle, this is where a lot of agencies get lost. They're not sure. And honestly, where you lose money. If you don't have a system in place, a way to manage each and every one of these leads that comes in, you're leaking money out of your business. Okay. And the biggest leak is not leads. It's managing the conversations that come in. Every reply deserves a system, and you have to have one in place, right? Where do our replies come from? Where will your replies come from? They're going to come from email. We use cold email for outreach. Okay. We use LinkedIn. Everybody in my company has a branded LinkedIn account that we are using to grow. Okay. We've taught this in other things as lead generation. That's not what we're going to talk about today, but that's one of the sources that we get. Text message, phone calls, right? Without a system, a lot of those leads get lost. Conversations, whether it be in your inbox, in your Gmail account, or whether you have a CRM or not, they tend to get lost, or there's no clear, real definition of where the next step is, and those opportunities are just wasted and gone from there. The sad fact: you do not expect, or you should not be expecting, one call closes, okay, or one conversation closes from there. Most sales do not happen today. And Kevin will talk about this when we get on. I'll talk about this. Like, we can get one call closes. We've done it. I've seen it. It depends on your offer and the package and the pain that you're solving from there. But not every single person is going to close today. They're not ready. They're busy. We were talking earlier on our executive call that we have every Tuesday, which today is a Tuesday, about 2 hours ago. Hey, we're trying to get somebody on a demo. They're picking their kid up from school. They're running out the door. So we have hot leads that are interested, but they're not ready to have that conversation right at this moment. So we have a consistent professional presence and update with them over time. We're not pressuring businesses, right? Those lead to buyer's remorse, chargebacks, refunds. Oh, I'm not sure what I got from here because they felt pressured in the sale. They just say yes. And then afterwards, you're left cleaning things up. So we want somebody to fully be educated on who we are, what we do, the services we offer, so that we're not chasing them. How do you do that? You remain consistent. Okay. We don't go quiet after somebody replies to us, or maybe they don't reply. We continue the follow up. And if they go through our sequences, we actually create a weekly piece of content. Our social media then is distributed out that content. Plus, we have daily content on our different channels as well. That means that we're showing up in front of them on the regular, right? We are the name that they see when it's time for them to purchase, whether it's today, whether it's next week, next month, from there. I have friends that are in the space that are like, yeah, it took us 11 emails, right? It took us 12 follow-ups, or this lead wasn't ready for 18 months, but it was a $5,000 a month deal when they finally showed up. Okay. These things do not just happen overnight. Do not get discouraged. Have conversations. When you're having conversations with the business owners, they understand who you are, what you do, and when they're ready, it's time to go. And I kind of look at it as like, a little bit of science and art. Okay. I pull this back from my flying days. We have game plans, we have mission plans, but guess what? Everything just goes to hell in a handbasket at some point, and you've got to be artistic. You need to create things up and create things right there on the fly and be able to adjust and adapt as we go. So here's the scientific part of it, right? So we have targeted lead lists that we use. Okay. If you have our Leads software, I can show you some of that here in a little bit as we get it later. We use proven scripts. Okay. We're going to give you access to some of those scripts today. I'm going to show you where to get access to those and how to break them down. We use AI tools, and we have AI assisted outreach, and we have a sequence that we follow. Okay. But you have to have the ability to use a little artistic freedom in there as well. Conversations, understand the psychology of where they're at. Make sure that you're talking to them at the right time. We want to create curiosity and who you are, what you do. This might be able to work for me. And you really want to build trust with those business owners. Okay. We charge anywhere from, I think, our lowest cost subscription and customer that we're using, we have in our software in our systems right now, is $39 a month. And that was somebody that got in a year or two ago when we were running a special promotion or a trial, all the way up to 4 figures a month just for the software company. Okay. I've got 5-figure a month clients in our agency as well. So how do we keep them? How do we get them in the door? You build trust by being relatable, by being someone they're willing to have a conversation with. You're not always pitching them. You're giving them value. They understand who you are in what you do. So if you want to be a great agency, you need to be able to do both. A lot of folks say, hey, look, we do cold email. Just stick with cold email outreach. Are we doing that? Yes. Other folks are, oh, well, you got to go and find them on LinkedIn. Are we doing that? Yes. Right? Are we calling business owners every single day? Yeah, we're calling 500 plus businesses every single day right now. We do not rely on just one channel. Now, if you're a solo operator, start with one, automate that process, and get them into your conversation engine. Everything brings and draws those individuals into our unified inbox, right? This is where we have the ability to talk to leads, move them down the pipeline, and know exactly where they're at. And anybody in my company can go in and see what's happening from there. This is our conversation flywheel. This is where everything connects and nothing really truly lives alone. It's a process that we've built. Okay. The content that we create it on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram. We're adding threads as well. And we're creating content so that when we do outreach on the outbound side, somebody Googles you, they do research, they look at your socials, they see that, yeah, you're not just dead on your Facebook page or your LinkedIn account hasn't been logged into in 2 years, because we're drawing a lot of our leads from lead lists that we're creating. We're using intent-based audiences. We're just grabbing lists of businesses that we can do cold email outreach to. We're doing outreach to those businesses via email, so that when we do outbound outreach via email and or phone calls, we've already either had a reply or we can have a conversation with them that puts them inside of the engine, and the engine essentially pumps out clients for us from there. So it's a very simple process that we use. What is it, like 1, 2, 3, 6 steps here inside of our flywheel? But if you look at everything as connected and moving somebody down the path, it's going to move you through the process, because we want to break the ice before we ever call. Okay. Inside of our business, we call. We literally are picking up the phone and calling businesses. Hey, we've sent you an email, or hey, we're reaching out because we noticed this with your business. Okay. We want that by the time they dial, they already know our name, or if they haven't seen the email, they haven't seen our content, they can dig in and see who we are. They can look at our LinkedIn and build a little bit of familiarity, right? People like to work with who they know, like, and trust. If we send them a text message for a follow-up or a meeting or a piece of content, they know who we are. By the time they get the demo or we have that call where Kevin's reaching out to them, it's a warm continuation of the process from there. This is how we set it up so that our cold outreach isn't completely cold. Okay. So for each and every one of you, this is what we're talking about when I talk about, hey, cold outreach really isn't cold. We want to give people a reason to know who we are, what we do. Okay. We do multi-channel touch and outreach and content creation so that familiarity builds the trust. Our goal is not to just blast people. We want to have a conversation so that by the time they meet with Kevin, who's on the call here, or it used to be me, it's a warm conversation. So I can tell you, somebody that's been doing our calls for the last 4 years, where I've handed this off, is we walk them through the path. We walk them down the steps. Okay. We do the initial email. We do LinkedIn content and connection. We can then start to text message them for the upcoming meetings. We can send them updates of what we're doing. Hey, we noticed this, and we want to be able to continue that conversation so that we're not a stranger. We're a continuation of the path of the flow from there. And Paul, we'll get to your question here in a little while. Paul is asking about email accounts and things like that. We'll do that once we get into the system. Okay. From there. Everything starts with one conversation. Okay. You could also do this offline. You could do this at networking events, your local chamber meetings, or just having a discussion with a business owner. Okay. Not every conversation is going to become a client or become a client today, but every client starts with a conversation. Our goal is to have as many conversations as we can because those are what lead to the opportunities. Okay. You want to have meaningful dialogue. You want to identify where you could potentially provide value through your service offering to that business owner. When they see the value, when they see the opportunity, what do they want to do? They want to meet, they want to learn more, right? You book an appointment. We use Zoom and I use Calendly for myself, and we use a high level scheduler for Kevin, right? And then the goal is for them to meet with the person that's actually going to provide them the value, the demo, and then turn them into a long-term client. Because when you provide the value that they were already looking for because they saw the opportunity, you can close the gap. And when you actually can fulfill on the service using high quality tools, services, you deliver on what you promised, why would they go anywhere else? This process also leads to one of the simplest cold calls ever. Okay. If you reach out to a business and you say, hey, we sent you an email yesterday, I sent you a direct message, just wanted to make sure you received it. You're not selling them. You're not just like, hey, can I talk to the business owner? I got to get through. I got to talk to him. Right. Hey, I shot John an email, just following up to have a quick conversation with him. From the email that we talked about yesterday, is he there? Right. Just want to make sure that you received it. Okay. You want to make sure that they have that call. And if they haven't read it, go, cool. Hey, read the email and I'll email me back, or I'll reach out to you tomorrow, make sure that you've read it and see if you have any questions from there. We're removing a lot of the fear. And a lot of folks still have a reservation about calling a business owner. Well, you're an agency owner. You need to be able to pick up the phone, send them a text message, or call them and start the conversation from there. Okay. So this is something that I know a lot of agencies are fearful of. You're not just dialing for dollars and you're not just hitting numbers. Do we have people doing that? Absolutely. Okay. I've got a team doing just that piece. But if you're an agency and you're using the conversation engine and you have content, you've posted a blog post, you've gone out there and you've sent them an email that gives them value and shows them that, yeah, we are who we say we are and we can do this. You're not just reaching out as a cold call. You're actually giving them the opportunity to see the value that's right there in front of them. Now, with what we're going to give to you as part of the snapshot as we go through, I want to make sure you understand that like nothing can get missed if you track. Okay. This is where, having a notepad, having a piece of paper, keeping them in your inbox and just trying to figure out how to actually make it work doesn't work. Because what you need to be able to do is track the calls, the follow-ups, the replies, the meetings, and let automations run a lot of that so that all the sequences are just running in the background from there. We have a full pipeline. Okay. So here's what we're giving today to everybody that's part of the conversation engine. Okay. You're going to be able to clone our exact workspace. We've made it generic so that you're going to have our information in it, right? But you can adjust this for yourself. Okay. You're not gonna have to go out there and rebuild it. You can import this, you can customize it. And then it has every element of our high level setup packaged and ready to deploy for you. We're talking about our pipelines. We have some tags and automations that are in there. We'll show you the dashboard and even not one, but two opportunity boards that we have for our outbound setters and for Kevin and how he actually moves somebody down the pipeline into a sale. To make sure that you have everything working, our team has actually created an SOP on how we operate daily. You're going to receive that as well today. There's no figuring it out. Everything as you go. This is our standard operating procedures. This is what we do and operate day to day, our workflows, our processes, how to move people down the pipeline very clearly, very easily. We're going to give you our outreach scripts. This is the language that we're using today, right now on this call, right? These were not created just to put into a snapshot and good luck, guys. Okay. The ones that we're using, we're giving to you. Now, should you repurpose them for yourself? Yeah. Cold email, our LinkedIn, our DMs, SMS, the phone, and then even some more follow-ups and how we do that as well. So you're gonna have each and every one of those available to you when we're done. Okay. All right. If you guys are ready to go through, put ready in the chat. What I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna go ahead and I'm gonna remove the setup of that PDF, and I'm gonna remove that from the studio. I need to add in my screen. So I need to share my screen, put the window on, and then I think this is the tab that I want for you guys. We got ready like Freddy, ready. Cool. All right, you guys should see Google. All right. I can see it on my screen, so we're good to go as we get it. So the first part of this, I'm actually going to go ahead and put myself in the bottom corner so you guys can see, is where to get all of your snapshots, where to get all of your pipeline snapshot, your extension, and then the SOP docs. Okay. So we'll kind of bounce around a little bit. And you guys, obviously, we're on this StreamYard right now. It is in our school community. Each and every one of you already have access to it as we get in from there. Martin, you made it. Cool. Martin was asking for the link just a little while ago. Okay, so if you go into our school community, as of this recording, right, as of this live call, it's going to be in the bottom right called Conversation Engine. Okay, this is closed to only of you that purchased. So anybody that sees this, they're not going to be able to get this unless they're part of the school community and part of the Conversation Engine from there. There's a huge echo. Kevin or Ben, can you guys just confirm for me if there's an echo or not for you guys, or are we good?
I don't have one.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't have it. All
right. So Martin, you might have a secondary audio, but what we'll do is says no, says Steve too. Okay. So this will be recorded, Martin. So if for some reason in like 30 minutes after this is done recording, you'll have the after we're done with the call, you'll have this recording. So my apologies that you have the issue, but try adjusting some of your audios or things like that. Maybe you got multiple channels open. So all right, go into the Conversation Engine here. You'll see a couple different things that we promised on the call. Number one, you'll see our client reactor training. This is our LinkedIn. Okay, this is our LinkedIn specialist. I'm not going to go through and show you today what we do for LinkedIn because it's already in the training for you from there. In addition to that, well, the other bonus that you had was our cold outreach lead reactor. This is the cold outreach that we're doing. It talks about how many email addresses we're using, how we're sending it out, the exact snapshots that we're using for our lead reactor, Illuma, how to install it into high level. All of this is in here as well for you in that lead reactor bonus. Okay. So this will do the cold email outreach as well as the LinkedIn outreach. That's part of the first part of the equation. How do they get into the Conversation Engine? Those are in here for you to go through at your own pace from there. As you guys can see, I've already opened up the little plugin extension. I keep saying plugin, but it's an extension on your browser that Sebastian made for you guys. We'll walk you through that here in a little bit. Okay. So let's go into the live call training, which is where we're at right now. First of all, if you want to know how we do everything, click on the sales pipeline SOP docs, and you'll see the email library that we've got. Kevin, this is the email library. So we have this from here. And Kevin's created one doc. Kevin, is it just one doc or is it a folder for them?
That one for the email, that's a one doc, but eventually I'll add more things.
So Kevin, send me a link to this, and after the call, we will. Okay, so Martin solved the page by he reloaded. He got rid of his echo. Okay, cool. So this will update after the call today. This will actually go to a Google Drive that will have all of the updates from here. But you guys, obviously, you saw the email library. These are the emails that we're using right now. And I'm not going to show too much of this as we go through, but you can see this is a multi-day outreach that we're using. And this is the angle that we are using right now in August of 2026, which is AI visibility. Okay. We are reaching out to businesses to talk about AI visibility, how it can affect their business. We actually talked about this morning 2 other angles that we're going to start using for the rest of Q3 as well. I'll tell you guys what those are right now. We're going to be doing a free outreach giveaway. So Kevin, when we create those, could you put those in the drive as well for them? And then in addition to that, we're also going to be doing some competitor analysis, some folks that are using some of our competitors, and we're reaching out to them as well. We've had some really great conversations this week with businesses that are using our competitors, but they hear what the service that we have that provides more for them when it comes to AI visibility, and it's at a lower cost than some of our competitors, there's a lot of interest in this. So when I tell you that we are using this, what's up, David? When we are using this, we are using this in our business day to day. This isn't something that we've just created. We're giving you guys templates. This is our actual email library that I just had them pull and create a Google Doc for you. So you have something today for the call. And then we're going to put the rest of those assets in here as well for you. Okay. From there. Now, the Google Scanner extension for high level. So you can see it's already installed inside of my browser. It's a Chrome extension. So you have to use Google Chrome. I use Firefox, and I've used Firefox for years now. But with all the extension and everything that are available on Chrome, I've now become a Chrome guy. Okay. Probably 20 something years in Firefox. I now mostly almost exclusively use Chrome in my business. Okay. Because of things like this, because of the scanner. How do you actually get and install the scraper extension for high level? So this is what we use. It connects to our high level account. It's going to pull some data. We'll show you. I think I showed you guys on a live call. We made a couple of updates from then. You're going to download this file from here. You're going to download it. It's going to go to your downloadable drive, download folder, or your desktop, whatever it is from there. So you just download it. This is a zip file that Sebastian made. You'll go in when you're done. I can't really zoom in on the screen for this, but you'll go to Chrome. And we go to settings right here, and you go to extensions. Okay. We go to extensions. You can see it's already installed for us. So I'm going to remove it right now and show you how to actually install it. Okay. So I'm going to go top left, load unpacked, and it's going to come as a zip file. You want to double click and open that zip file so it's a folder, so that I can go and click load unpacked, and then I just click select. It will instantly install it. And then I think I have to reset the browser for it to pop up. Let me see if I just hit refresh. It should pop up from here. If not, I might have to close my browser and then bring it back, but it should pop up and you guys will be able to see it here shortly once we log into high level. If not, we'll use it inside of Kevin's account, because Kevin, I'm sure you and the team have it all installed with the latest version already. Kevin's actually helped optimize this for our own team. So you guys will have access to that as well. Oh, there it is. It's already popped back up for me. Okay. So it's not reading anything for Google Maps because it's not set up in here, but we'll go through and show you how to use that a little bit. So that's where your docs are. And this is where your Google Business Profile extension for high level is. And then I can also go through as what Dave is telling me is I can pin it to the bar, but Dave, we actually don't even need to pin it to our bar because it already pops up. But thank you, Dave, for your technical support on this. All right. As we go in, the next thing I want to walk you guys through is, hey, how do I actually use this inside of my high level account? Because you want to put that entire pipeline. This is the snapshot. Okay. This is in the middle here. So I download the extension. You got the docs. In the middle is our snapshot for high level. I'll show you this here in a second, but you're going to want to go into your dashboard, go into your sub account that you have. Now, I know some of you, this is our, I think, Ben, I'm using Reviewly 2.0 for this, right?
Correct.
Okay, so I should be able to show how to install this inside of this account if it's already in there. But if you have a sub account with another agency trainer, you're using high level under somebody else's account because they're offering you like other services or things like that, they may have to allow you to use this snapshot. I know if you're using like Jason's team or something like that, let us know. And then Ben will work with his team to make sure that you guys have access to the snapshot. Ben, you can just give them the snapshot to be able to provide to everybody over there. All you're going to do is you're going to click on this. It's going to open up your high level account from here. You can adjust the name, right? This is our V2. You guys have V2 because it's been redacted, not redacted, but it's been made generic so that you can have your own tags and stuff like that. And you import it now into the account. I can go back to my snapshots. This was what V2 here. It might be in a different setup. Let's see here. It should be in the snapshots. Am I missing where it is, Ben?
Oh, it's the very top.
There it is, the top one. I missed it from here. Okay, so you can see the assets. I'm gonna have to zoom in for this for you guys. Is you're gonna see it's got 4 email builder templates. We've got our BDR outreaches for 3 days, our pipelines. These are our sales pipeline, and this is my cold caller appointment setter pipeline as well. Your tags, we made it generic. It's agent 1. You can adjust this tag name, make it yourself, and then our different workflows. So you can see that we've got how to add a meeting to the sales pipeline, appointment setters for the appointment set, the call initiation stage, do not contact, right? So you upload this in a high level, accept everything as is. Yes, you do, Craig. It's exactly what you do. And then then you customize it for yourself. Email the follow-up sequence if they're not interested, different workflows. These are all of our different workflows that my team uses. Okay. This is why I have 3 other people on the call. These are the experts that have set this up for us, and they use it as per what they need to inside of our business. So we've got here. So now I can load updates to my sub accounts. I can edit the snapshot if I want. I guess I can copy this ID if I want to. So Ben, if I want to put this into the Reviewly 2.0, how do I do this? Do I just go load it into a sub account right here?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Make sure I'm not going too far. And then search sub accounts.
On the right, there's that 3 options. I click all, and then you can select it.
There it is from here. Okay. I'm going to click on proceed. And then I want to load all of my assets right in here. And you can see some of these have 0, 0. Okay. Pipelines. It's got the 15 different assets that are in there, the templates. It's got the pipelines, and then everything else is attached to it from there. I'm just going to click on the top to send all in here. And then Joshua, if you can't access the training inside of school, which is this one down here, shoot me a DM, and right after this call, I'll do it for you. I would prefer if you just go ahead and just DM me or support, but that might take a little bit longer to get back to you on that. Okay. And then, all right. So let's see here. That was Joshua. Paul. And how do you get the snapshot? Oh, yeah, this is under Jason. So Paul, that's where Ben is going to have to work with Jason's team, because I know you're underneath Jason. I know, Paul, you had some issues with some other snapshots as well. We have to get that to his team and then give permission to be able to put it inside of your account. So let Paul, if you DM me, or actually I'll just give you guys inside. Ben, what email do you want for Reviewly for like Paul to be able to send an email out for you guys? Do you want to use your Ben one at Reviewly?
Yep, that
work. Okay. So I'm going to give you guys the email inside of the chat for Ben, and he will get you guys set up from there. And then likes the current link, sales pipeline for snapshot is an affiliate link for high level. Can you share the link in the chat? Yeah. So Ben, can you give me, I think I can give you guys each the link too. So hold on a second. Let's go ahead. I'm going to go back. I'm going to copy. That's my snapshot ID. Ben, can you just give me a raw snapshot ID that doesn't have the affiliate link in it from there? Yeah. And then just put it in Slack and I'll move it over so that set up from there. Okay. So I'm going to load this in my accounts. And then Craig asked, do I need to be cognizant of other accounts in my high level in doing this? So yes, Craig, I mean, you can put it inside of all your sub accounts. That's fine. They might not know what it is, but what you can do is go to available, and you can just put it into the accounts that you want. I'm only putting it in my Reviewly 2.0 account. I do not run this where I sell sub accounts to any of my clients or you guys, because I don't want to be the software manager of somebody else's software. So I recommend you guys get your own account from there. And then once Ben gives you that link, I'll drop it in the chat for you guys as well. And then I'll probably just do a custom reply. Or actually, if you guys just email Ben, and then, yeah, so Kip says, I've done that with Jason support before. They usually just get the snapshot link and they can load it. Yeah, I agree with you. But I know Paul ran into some issues with it last month. So we want to make sure that you guys have it from there. But the link should be in there. And then, yeah, so Ben, I think that's the same link that we had in there. So you guys should have it. Okay. So if you guys have any issues with it, we put Ben's email address. It's ben@reviewly.ai. If we have to, we'll hop on a call with you guys. You did purchase the package. We want to make sure that you can install it from there. Okay. So we're going to now load the snapshot after I check for any conflicts, which we shouldn't have on here. Where do I want to load it? I want to load it into my Reviewly 2.0 account. Proceed. I got to type in confirm here. It's going green. It went from red to green, as you guys can see there. And I'm going to load this in the account. Okay. So now it's set up. It's in history. I can go back to my snapshots. I'm going to log into the Reviewly 2.0 account. And then now I should be able to go in and I have my pipelines in here, my appointment setter pipeline. And actually, I'm going to zoom out from here. This is what I showed you guys on the sales process as well. I've got my snapshot here, and then I've got my sales pipeline snapshot as well. Now it is installed into the account, and we can walk through the next steps here. This is where Ben and Kevin, I'm going to need a little bit of your guys' help from here. So we've got two different pipelines. We've got our outbound appointment setters. This is where we are actually doing the dialing for some of these businesses, right? So we can flag and tag and put somebody in. Hey, look, they have interest. They haven't been called yet from here. So Ben, if I'm inside, or Kevin, one of the two of you, if I'm inside the appointment setter pipeline, in this case, how do I get access now to some of the workflows or the things that are in here? How do I get a contact record into this?
How to get a contact record into? Okay, so when you import, so basically, essentially, how the whole snapshot works, it's all triggered based off automations and tags. So it's super tag reliant, and that's why we gave the generic agent tag.
Yep.
So if you go to automations, we can kind of briefly look at how this all kicks off.
Okay, cool. So automations from here.
Yeah, and then it'll be in the conversation engine folder.
Perfect.
And then from here, I would click on, let's see.
Are we adding, that's adding a meeting.
Oh, it looks like one didn't carry over with it.
Okay, so we have to update that snapshot then.
Essentially, what it would be is I think it might be mislabeled. I'll have to look into it on the side.
Okay.
But the agent one, when you import, or you, I guess better way to circumnavigate this is go to contacts.
Okay. So I've got a contact. There should be no contact records in here, right? Oh, this is Ben. Okay, so it's you, right? So let's say I have a conversation. I have a leads list. I've got somebody in here. You obviously, there are ways to import or to add leads into the system. So I'm going to add a contact record. I'm going to call it Jeff Demo, right? Let's just put my email in there, phone number, contact. So this is a lead. They're not a customer, right? Time zone. Let's just call it, where are we at? LA time zone. Okay. You could also decide do not disturb, right? If we don't want to, maybe he doesn't want text messages or anything like that from there. And then I can update this lead.
Correct.
Okay.
And then
So
another way to do that as well, I know you'd mentioned lead list, is on the previous page, there is two buttons. The blue one was the one you clicked for like an individual contact.
Was this the add opportunity?
Or you were in the contacts beforehand, but in
contact, sorry. Yep.
So there's add contact and then import. So if there's a bulk lead list, this is like really where both methods work well, but where this one really shines is the importing of mass amounts of leads or any amount in a CSV file. Because when you import them in bulk, you can add a tag to them as well when they get imported. And once they have that one tag, then they'll get added into the first stage of the opportunity deal board.
Cool. So by adding the contact, they're going to go to that first stage of the opportunity deal board from there. One of the other things is we obviously own Leadsly. So the way that we generate lists are we actually have our team go out and find either intent-based lists, people that are looking for reputation management, in this case, from Leadsly in a certain state, or we go grab a, oh man, this would be for both Ben and Kevin. We have a Slack channel for our BDRs where we generate lists. We used to do it every Sunday. Now I think we moved it to Thursday or Wednesday for the next week, where we can go in and we say, hey, we need 3,000 leads for next week in the state of, we'll say, South Carolina. That's one of the states that we actually were using last week that I'm aware of. And we go grab all of the med spas through all the zip codes of that state. And then we can, inside of the system, we can automate this, right? So I'm not going to go through the automation of like selling you Leadsly or anything like that on today, but you can go grab a list from anywhere and you can import those lists, and then you can tag them from there and it'll move right into your deal board as we go in. Did I say that correctly, Ben?
Yeah. Now I fixed the issue that we ran into earlier. It was just mislabeled.
Okay.
So if we go back into automations.
Okay. So let me go back in. Let me just move my thing off my screen here. Go back to automation. Okay.
And then click on the conversation engine one more time. There's the one that says snapshot start. It should be the second to last.
Oh, there it is. Okay. So I need to go ahead and that's a draft. So how do I undraft this?
You just click or go back again and then click on the bold text of it.
Right here?
Yep.
Okay. Oh, publish. Got it. Okay.
So how this works is the contact tag that we provide in this snapshot is agent 1.
Yep.
So if you don't necessarily even have to change it, if you don't really care about naming or whatnot, you can just import all your bulk leads to include this tag agent 1, and it'll automatically add them into the first step of the deal board. And then from there, the following automations tracks throughout the not only the appointment setter pipeline, but then it can transfer them even out of the appointment setter into your sales pipeline.
Gotcha. Okay. So nope, cancel. I want to save. Make sure that you save from there. Okay. So now we got the workflow. We can put somebody in there. They're tagged. Martin has a great question here. Craig says, I'll be working closely with Ben because I have my own high-level account, not selling sub accounts. Okay, cool. So yeah, so Craig, that's actually really simple for you. You're going to work just like I did from here, but we've got all of the AI workflows already in here. So when we talked about, hey, we're using AI, like where this flow works, high level, I want to say this is not true AI, right? But like, it knows and is smart enough to move folks through this as we go. So that's Martin had a great question here. So you grab reputation leads for AI visibility. It's one of the things that we are doing inside right now, the accounts for us. And then cool. And then you just got a pop up on a high-level page from Review AI. Oh, cool. So you have Craig, you already have the extension installed, which is down here on the bottom for me. And then that's what this is, right? So you can pop this up, turn it on, turn it off. Okay. From there. So for Craig, you've got it. Martin, yeah, you can grab leads, and it depends on what your opportunity is, right? So we're telling you guys what we're using for Reviewly in here. And this is just 2.0 because that way we can, say this is the one that we're using to show you guys a demo. We're not actually log into a live account, which we're actually going to show you Kevin's account here in a little bit and how it all flows and works together from there. So Kevin will come on and kind of walk you through that flow and the process of, hey, when we have somebody that's identified, whether it be inside of LinkedIn, whether they DM'd us back, whether in this case, we're doing our cold outreach inside a high level, when they reply back, we can assign that tag agent 1 in your case, and it puts them into that pipeline and that flow. So you've got our snapshot that's in there to move them into, hey, we want to follow up, we want to call. And that's how we use our appointment setter pipeline from there. And if we go in and I show you guys the opportunity board from here, Now what I can do is I can start to add opportunities. I can set this up and I can start moving contacts through this from here. We also have smart lists that we use. I know that we can't give you a smart list snapshot. That's one of the things that we do. So how do we set up our smart list so that we're giving each of our individuals their own list? Was it just go through the plus list here, or how are we setting this up, guys?
So in the contacts portion,
Okay.
you can, or the way we have our smart list add is really simple. Really simple in terms of filtering. So you would just click on the add smart list next to the all button, and then name it something. You can name it just agent in this case.
Okay.
And then you'd click on filters.
Okay.
And then search for tag.
And try all the way down the bottom there, tag. Yep. So I lost it, tag. Okay.
And then you want to make sure tag is, and then you would select agent 1.
Okay.
And then done or whatever. I can't see the blue button. It's
I've got it over the thing. That's the one thing.
Yeah,
you
can close it. You can click on it and on the other one.
This.
Yeah. Well,
there it is. Cool. Thank you, Sebastian. It hides it. So now we'll do create from here. And then is there anything else you can set? You can go through and play around this. Obviously, you're going to customize this for yourself. We're going to create a smart list here. And then now anybody that has this list, right? So
when
you
now
I have a smart list, and we give each of our agents their own smart list, correct?
Yep. Correct.
So how do I take Jeff Demo and assign him to this smart list?
I would go back to all
contacts. Okay.
And then when you click on his account, you can do add tags on that toolbar up there.
Okay. So now I go to here, tags, and now I add Jeff to agent 1, right? So now I'm applying a tag, which if I were to import somebody, I want to make sure I apply the tag, or I can set this up. I can go to my opportunities, and now there we go. Jeff Demo is in here. He's been applied a tag, and now this is where you guys can customize it for yourself, adjust some of these tags, and you can see that Jeff has not been called, right? There's an opportunity for us to call him as an appointment setter. We want to be able to set the appointment. We want to be able to put it in a pipeline. We want him to know, hey, look, we saw that you read our email, you've responded, or hey, you commented on our Facebook post or our LinkedIn post from here. I've called. I made my first contact from here. Now I can move them through the flow of each of these. Now we do multiple contacts, but you can say first contact. Maybe I sent a voicemail, not interested or interested. Okay. So Kevin, I know, let's say that, May is calling or Albert's calling. Do they move them to the end to the interested in this case, and then it starts to move them on, or how do they get into that next pipeline?
So the automation's been set up for us is that whenever you contact the for the first time, it's going to automatically move into first contact, and then every follow-up you'll drag it across the pipeline.
Yep. So now I've got a business, Jeff's Med Spa in this case for us is interested. He wants to talk to Kevin.
Yeah. If they set the appointment during the call, it's not gonna appear in interested. It's gonna appear directly into the sales pipeline.
Gotcha.
But
okay.
They can drag it to interested, and if they can set up the appointment later. Eventually, the goal is to it's for the lead to appear in the sales pipeline.
Right. So now I can put them into our sales pipeline. They've opted into the process. They've responded. They showed interest. Right. So now this is where we can customize some of those tags. Or Kevin, what I'll do is I'm actually going to have you pull up yours, and I'm going to go ahead. Kevin, you can pull up your video too. I'm going to add your screen to the stage. I got to remove mine. Give me 1 second here, Kevin. I'm going to pull up your screen that I can see here. Okay. So now we've installed the snapshot, right? We've installed the 2 snapshots. You make sure that we've walked through and we've applied the tag. They're interested. We can book the appointments. This is actually live data. This is not, we did not like make this up for this call. This is actually live data from here. And Craig just said something pretty funny. Put my software to use, put my daughter to work.
Yeah, I saw
Which is great. So look, that's what we want you guys doing. We want you using this. Like I didn't sell this just to give you guys access to something that wasn't sellable or usable. Okay. So this is where the experts in my company have taken over, and I don't actually micromanage any of this. They've got the power and the authority to do what it takes to move this through. So this is the magical system behind everything that Kevin and Ben have built. So Kevin, let's talk a little bit about through, we're calling these businesses that have shown interest, or we've got the list, we've outreach to them, we send them an email. Hey, do you have the email? Or, hey, we noticed, this on your business from here. We've got all the scripts that we're going to give them from here. Let's talk a little bit about, actually, I'm going to pull you and I off the stage so they can see the full screen. So we've got opportunities, right? We've got several that we made first contact through. Maybe we haven't called yet. They've shown some interest. They haven't been called. So we need to follow up and call them. How does somebody move from the appointment setter into your sales pipeline?
All right. So there's two different ways they can do it. They can either hand the my appointment set link to the lead.
Okay.
Ideally, they'll do it themselves, but once they're over here, they can set the appointment directly on contact or sorry about that.
Yep.
Click in. Oh my God. Yeah, technical issues, guys. Sorry. Yeah,
Kevin's a quick clicker like my son. All right.
Yeah.
So we've got this business here, right? We've got the contact name of the business, the primary phone, and their information. So now, how do they get this over to you? Like, so let's say that Sky Spa here was interested.
Yeah. Book new appointment.
So now, with the snapshot, you guys would want to set up your own calendar, right? So when you set up a calendar, if you're using High Level's calendar system, I actually still run Calendly external to High Level. Kevin is tied into High Level because he's doing all of our demos now. I still get all the text message alerts and things like that. We're sending, confirmation text message, confirmation emails to get them onto the calls, onto our Zoom. Kevin, so now they've booked an appointment, right? Or they want to book an appointment. They find an opening on your calendar.
Yeah, let's say, this is fun. Let's say the 12th. Okay, that's fine. Book appointment.
Okay.
Appointment booked. And Sky Spa is going to appear over here in the sales pipeline. And
so now you have a couple of different options. So if we're doing the calling and we're doing the outbound, we've booked the appointment, we put them in a meeting scheduled. If they're having an email conversation and now it's time to talk to Kevin, they can move them into his pipeline from there. Okay, let's go back to the sales pipeline.
Yeah. Sales pipeline.
And you're going to get, now, as you guys saw, there's people in the not interested category. You're going to get a hell of a lot more of those than that are going to be interested. Let's be honest here. Okay. So Kevin, they're inside of your sales pipeline. Go all the way to the left and let's break this down a little bit. So if somebody opts in, they're hey, they're interested. We need to do some more follow-up. They can put them in the opt-in section here underneath the board, the opportunity board. Responded, they showed interest, right? But we haven't quite booked the meeting yet from here. Or in this case, that's actually a real lead. Somebody's booked because Kevin's not in the demo account. He's in a live account right now. So this is somebody that's like, hey, a meeting's been scheduled. This is a source that came from our lead software. We did the outreach, and then somebody actually booked a meeting. I don't know when the meeting is, but they booked a meeting with Kevin from there. So with this, we just move them down the board. It is very self-explanatory. If you scroll from left to right on the opportunity board here, look, the meeting's complete. We lost the deal. Maybe they no-showed, or we closed the deal, right? So you can go through and set this up. Inside of the sales pipeline here, you just move them down the board, and there's automations tied to each of them. Somebody gave us a little heart, which is awesome. David, thanks for that. So now, Kevin, let's talk a little bit about this. Let's pop up you and I. Actually, I don't like this one. Let's pop up you and I on this from here. Actually, yeah, there we go. When they book the appointment, we're using High Level's calendar system. That is not part of the snapshot that we've given you guys, because we can't connect your calendar. Okay. So you'll have to go in, and if you want to use Zoom, Calendly and Zoom, then you send them a link, and then it moves it externally. You got to move them manually through the pipeline. But if you're using high levels calendar system like Kevin is, it sends them confirmation text message from the phone number that's linked into the account. It sends them email reminders, and we use a hard-coded Zoom link to send to everybody. It's our Reviewly Zoom link, and then Kevin shows up at the time, and either they're there or they're not there. Okay, and you can tell, if they're there because they show up. If they're not there, here's what we do. If they don't show up at the time, we give them a minute or so, send them a text message, and you can send a text message inside high levels Omni communication contact record system, which I'll show you here from my dashboard in a little bit. You can have the conversation with the individual, see your entire conversation history. We're not going to do that with live clients because we don't want you seeing too much live data that's in there with actual clients. I'll show you what it looks like inside of what it would look like inside your snapshot. But Kevin, you just meet with them and then go through the process, right? You're just going through everything that we teach inside of Reviewly.
Yeah, exactly. And like you said, some of these people are not ready to buy directly in that call. So you have to move them through the pipeline. If there are no show, you put them on no show. Just drag the contact, and that lead is still live. You can contact them directly through the messaging system in high level. I usually do emails. And once the first email is sent, the automations are set. So there's an email every, if I'm not mistaken, every week, and it moves until it finishes the automation setup. That's what Ben has set up for us.
That's right. And you guys have that access as well. It's already built into your snapshot. What I would recommend, this is what we do, is we then, after they've expired through all of our automations, we send them our weekly blog post. I'm not expecting you guys as solopreneurs agencies to have an agency website with all your blog posts, your content, but why not take a piece of everything that we're sending out on our content and then repurpose it and just blast it as an email to all of your records that are just sitting there, right? And then Paul, we'll go through how we do the sales call in a second. From there, and I'll answer that here in just a second for you, Paul. And then Martin, I'll answer your question here as well. So Kevin, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show them the contact record, which is me, show them the conversation here as a little bit. While I do that, can you just pull up a lead on your side, which they can't see the screen yet, but we'll pull it up, and have the extension ready so they can show, hey, when you do the call, when you're reaching out to them, here's what you see about the business while you're inside of your high level dashboard. You just pull up a record that you have in there. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add to the stage. I'm going to remove Kevin from the stage, not you, Kevin, your screen from there. So we're back into my dashboard. So I'm going to show you my contact record. Okay. So when you go through and you click on a contact record, right, you can see everything about the contact record that you have from here. But you can also see, I don't have a phone number added because this is a demo account, but you'll be able to do text message, email, and WhatsApp as well, right? So I have not connected this inside of this demo account, so I forgot about that. But you can actually go in, and this is actually every single one of our reps has a number that they can email, which is our company number for all the updates and everything that we send. And that contact record will be only updated to that individual agent. So for you, you can go through, you can send text message and you can send emails to somebody. Or you can see right now I'm emailing to and from my email address because I'm the person that's a contact record. I'm mailing myself, and I can send an email to them. I would highly recommend that you use this conversation channel for everything that you do, because you can go and make internal comments for yourself. You can send emails. And if you have a phone number connected, you're texting the business owner. They've already opted in. You've talked to them. Hey, this is your mobile number. You can send them text messages as well. So all of your communication should be inside of the dashboard, inside of this conversation. In addition to that, you can also call them if you want from here. You can add them to your favorites. You can mark them as, I need to come back from here, but you can see all the conversations that you've had with this individual, all the activity, and then that, as you update the activity, will update here on the right-hand side from there. So this is our demo account, and you can go through, but you can see, I can now see everything that comes in with this contact record, all the conversations I'm having, and then we can move them through. If you are part of our conversation that closes the pivot program, you'll see inside of the trainings that we did for our team, where we told them, and we live by this, because with our callers, no one has their direct phone number. Okay. No one has their direct email address in the company. All of their conversations, if it didn't happen in the CRM and it's not tracked in our CRM, it didn't happen. So having the discipline to do everything in one easy opportunity board and dashboard, you can see all of your unread messages. You can come in. High Level has a lead connector app that you can put right on your phone. I think Kevin has it. I don't, on my phone, where he can talk to all of those messages, all those folks. And Kevin, you have lead connector on your phone, right? Where you can just go through. I know Maite has it as well. So, oh, Kevin, you're muted. Got to unmute you, dude.
My bad. Yeah, you can also, I have lead connector, or you can also have, there's an, I don't know if, I'm pretty sure they do, iOS users, but Android has a native High Level app for at the
they call it lead connector. Yeah, for iOS and Android, you can just use that, and you can have, so now your personal and business are separated on your phone, which is really good.
I usually use the directly. If I'm dialing, I'll use directly through to the desktop version in on Chrome, but you can also use the phone. It's pretty easy.
Yep. So I would recommend just do it on the we have all our dialers with a headset, and you have AirPods, like it makes sense from there. All right. Kevin, actually I'll answer Martin, Paul, and Lloyd. I'll get to your questions here in a second. Kevin, is your screen ready for me to pull that back up to the stage?
I'm on set to pull up.
Just pull up a business and pull up the Chrome extension so we can show what the plugin does.
Yeah. There you go.
So, all right, cool. I'm going to add you back to the stage from here. Okay, so let's just pull in. Wait, go ahead and hold on a second. Let me just remove you.
Wrong tab. Sorry.
Go ahead and pull open. That's me. All right. So go ahead and nope, we need to go back. There we go. Okay. So now you've got a business. This is a med spa, right? You can see we've talked to this med spa. Or actually we tried to, they didn't answer. A couple of big things with this. We use a wave dialer. Okay. It's a third-party connector. It's like $150 per month per seat per person, because I have multiple people calling inside of our company. It tracks and records the calls as well. You do not necessarily need to have this inside of your business. All right. One of the things that the extension does is when we have the name of the business and we have the business phone number, our GBP spotter, the extension will search the phone number, and then it will pull in all the information of this business. So this, we can't really zoom in too much for this because it's a plugin, extension. So I can't zoom in, but what does this give you? And oh, there you go. It did work. Okay. So what does this give you and the team, Kevin, by pulling this open for this med spa that's in Calabasas, I guess? So
yeah. So originally, one of the issues was that they manually had to look for a business on Google Maps, which is it takes a few 5 minutes, but if you add 100 dials, 5 minutes, it takes a while after it adds up. So Sebastian, when before doing a lot of feedback from my side and the callers, we came up with this system, so you can see the amount of reviews they have, a small version of their AI visibility score, and very important, their schedules, because some of these businesses have very randomized schedules. Some open only 2 days or 3 days, this just gives the BDRs another opportunity to know if the lead's gonna answer. If not, they can opt to call any other.
Yeah. So we called this business yesterday because today's the 11th, right? We called on the 10th. They weren't open yesterday. So
Yep.
it's kind of hard to call a business if they're not open from there. Okay. So it also will go out. If you scroll a little bit lower, it's going to see if they have any sort of review tool on their website, right? It also, here you go, you can stop right there. It gives you like, hey, here's what part of the education pitch is, right? So when they're calling, this is that science and artistic freedom. Hey, what reviews can help do for their local ranking? Okay. They're currently closed. So it's going to tell you, hey, look, probably reset this for open hours. They have a pretty good, strong AI visibility. It favors them in that area. Talks about the number of reviews. They probably are likely behind top competitors. So somebody just asked, Martin just asked about like, hey, first answer formula. This right here for you, Martin, would be great. Hey, I can run you and see you how you do against your local competitors. Their last review is over a month ago. So their velocity is actually stalled. And then there's a 1-star review sitting on their profile. And then you can see that like, hey, we could probably help you guys clean this up from there. And then scroll a little bit lower. It's pulling in all of their recent reviews, right? So this is what we're using for Reviewly so that our reps have access and fully understand what's happening inside of the business before they ever call. If you want to open up and see what their Google Maps, don't click on that, but if you don't click on that, you want to see, look at their Google Maps, right? You can pull it up and see where they're located, or, learn a little bit more about their maps if you're doing Google business profiles type stuff, or you want to just open up their website and just look around and have a conversation with them as well. So the tool gives you the opportunity to go through, thanks, Kevin, and really take a look and dive in for every single business right before you call it. So you don't have to go in and open maps and learn and come up with what your pitch is going to be. We've given you the insights to that business before you ever dial from there. So I'm going to have you turn off the screen. I'll talk to everybody as we go in. So, all right. Does a snapshot install our SOPs? And we got a couple of questions that have come in, and how we're running this makes sense to everybody that's on the call. Give me a yes if it makes sense to how we're doing it. You've got different lead sources putting this in. This is the conversation engine piece. This is the middle of how we're running our pipelines. You guys now have access to the workflows, the automations, and everything that's in there. Give me a yes to the chat if it's good for you guys as we go in. Martin, and I'll get to some of the questions that come in. Paul just said yes, which is awesome. Great. Thanks, Paul. So Martin just said, sounds like everything is molded for Reviewly. It is. And we're giving you what we're doing inside of our operation. Like I talked about very early on the slide deck, was that, oops, hold on a second. I gotta stop that screen. What we talked about early on in the slide deck is customize this for yourself. Like, would this be usable with some modification for like the first answer formula, which is all about the AI visibility checklist, the audit, the proposal, and then even the fix it checklist that you can hand them or you can do yourself? Absolutely, Martin. I want you to understand that like we've created this and I can't make this work for every single person's business. We've given you the working one for ours, and then you want to just go in there and tweak it and customize it. So this does take a little effort to set up, right? So you got to turn some wrenches and adjust some settings for yourself, but it works. And now you see exactly the roadmap and the path that we have from there. Okay. Paul says, in the meeting, do you ever go over report analysis, reviews, AI? So Kevin has a way that we don't teach this inside of the conversation engine, but yes, Kevin uses our sales pitch, our sales deck that actually I think is inside of the school group for everybody to have access to in like the first couple of free modules that we give everybody. So that's our sales deck. We walk through. The other piece about that, Paul, for everybody else that's on here as well, is have a conversation with the business owner. You know why you're calling them. You know about their business. Focus on those pain points and just be a consultant. Consult, right? So if you are part of our conversation that closes in the pivot formula, we talk about in all of my documentation, especially all the stuff that I train the BDRs and our sales rep. Consult, don't convince. It's at the bottom of every single document. You want to consult them on what they can do, show them the opportunity, and then, would you like us to fix this for you? Would you like some help with this? That's a very easy close that each and every one of you can have with the business owner from there. Okay. So, Paul, we do go over some of the report and the analysis, but it depends on the business and what kind of conversation we have. Kevin's seen all of my well, not all of them, but he's seen all of my recent sales demos. And he's like, yeah, all you do is you just talk to the business owner, ask a couple questions. They're giving you their perspective, and then you help them see the opportunity from their own perspective. That's it. That's the entire sales process. There's nothing very difficult or cosmic with any of that. Great question from Lloyd. For texting, through high level, do you need to go through the A to P process? Yes, you do. Because you are sending text messages through their system. They are very stringent on how and of you setting this up. But if you go through that process, you're going to be able to send text messages from there. Okay. And we do it, and we did it, and it only took us like an hour or 3 to get approved, or maybe a day to get approved. But I think it was pretty quick for us. We also have an established account and a couple other things. But it wasn't that hard at all, right? Just go through their process from there. Cool. And then I've got a lot of the folks on here that I'll go ahead and pull this up from there. Comments. I think I show them on the stage. We got, Chris, Anthony, Lloyd, Martin, and then other Martin says, awesome, Jeff. So you guys all get this. So you guys all understand the process and the power of this for what we've done. Okay. All right. I'll have Ben and Kevin and Sebastian, I'll have you guys all pull back up on your screen. We'll do the Brady Bunch thing here for everybody. So Kevin, Ben, or Sebastian, as I wrap this up, I answered all the questions that have come in so far. If you guys have a question, just go ahead and I'll put up our support email address right at the bottom here. If you stay up for like a minute or so, just email our support desk. We're not just selling this to you guys to say, all right, cool, here, go install it. If you ever have a question, you run into something, email our support desk. Our team will get you in touch with the right person. One of them may be on the screen right in front of you right now. There's only a few other folks that you'd be talking to inside of our company that aren't directly going out to B2B type stuff. So these are the folks that are going to be helping you guys get in as we get in. But everything you guys have is inside the back office. We'll make sure that everything's updated, and we'll get this recording into the back office for you as soon as possible. But that's what we're doing to be able to use this to create conversations and move people down the pipeline from there. Okay, that's the biggest thing that we have. Before I do the wrap up, Sebastian, Ben, or Kevin, is there anything that I missed coming in here that you guys want to add?
No,
No,
you covered
from my
pretty
side.
much everything.
Cool. All right, you guys can all hop. Actually, just go back in the green room because I need your recordings from this. So you guys have to watch me edit this. So, or do the last couple of questions when we come in. Sorry. All right, let me go ahead and I'm going to pull up the slide one more time. And then actually, somebody asked the presentation. I have it. No, that's a different one. Sorry. Okay, so let's go back and I'll go through the slides here that we talked about already. Then we'll do a wrap up, and then I got a couple of questions from here. Okay. We went behind the scenes. I showed you guys how we operate. This is what we do in our real life business from here. And then Ben, can you? I'll have Ben look this up for you, Paul. Ben, I'm going to throw this on the screen. How many email accounts do we use for outbound cold emails? Ben, can you tell me if it's like 2, 3, 5, or whatever, and just put it in the Slack, and I'll let Paul know from there. And then when we talk about our replies, we make sure that everybody's tagged and moved through the system immediately, because you can drag and drop. And Steve, I'll show you where I get the snapshot here one more time at the end as we get in. Okay. We want to make sure we categorize everybody. We move them through that process. This is our management system of all the leads that come in. You guys saw, like in Kevin's dashboard, I'm not sure if it was his or one of the reps, like we had 1,300 people that we got to call. We got, conversations going with over 1,000 businesses all at once. That's very difficult to manage. We have multiple people managing their conversations, but when you do it in an organized fashion, you'll be able to know exactly where they're at from there. We're not just prospecting everyone. We're grabbing keyword-based lists. We're grabbing intent-based lists. We're looking at AI and activity. Or in some cases, if we're just trying some cold calling, we just grab a list of the niche in that area and we start saying, hey, look, we're working with med spas in the Columbia, South Carolina area to help them increase their reviews or visibility, right? And just have those conversations. The biggest thing here is I don't want you guys chasing anymore. I want you to start building conversations, and you don't need to have a better pitch. You don't need to have some secret offer. I'm going to tell you that there's nothing fancy that we do here. It's just about having conversations, okay, as you go through and get in. So got a lot of questions that have come in, okay? So I'll answer all of these as we go, and then I'll show a couple of things on the screen from there. All right, let me go ahead and remove that from the studio. Paul says, hey, can you add people in the snapshot from an email opt-in manual input? Yes, you can, Paul. That is all on the front end of the automation. You apply the tag. The tag moves them into the system, and then you go from there. So that's how we move somebody from a lead or a list, or we bulk import and we assign a tag, and that moves them through the system, okay? The conversation engine is the system. Each and every one of you does a different way of putting somebody into the system. That's what that tag is for. The tag fires off the system. Craig, how do I have an agency account for Reviewly? You just go through and you just let our support team know, or ask the question at support@reviewly.ai from there. And guess what? If you don't have one, they'll give you the link to help sign up. And if you want, you can even go through a demo with Kevin. Let him know if you don't have an account, Kevin will give you the demo, or you can just sign up as a trial right on our website from there. Okay. Let's go ahead and pull that in if you have any questions. Joshua says, very comprehensive tools. Newbie, how do I get more hand holding? Joshua, go through some of the trainings and walk your way through, and then let our team know what you're looking for. We might be able to get you on the call with somebody on there. It'd be like a paid consult or something like that. But inside of our school group, which I'll pull up here in a little bit, Kevin started inside of the school group from there. So he literally started just learning the system and how to do sales. And then he's built over the last 6 or 9 months with us his entire repertoire of tools. Start small. Start by having in-person, one-on-one conversations, go to networking events, start some cold outreach, building block approaches. I don't have a couple of different companies in the portfolio and run an agency and teach you guys overnight. Okay. This is 18 years in the making. It's not going to take you 18 years. Okay. I've actually restarted all of this in the last couple of years. Once I sold and exited out of some of my previous companies. And then within the first 30 to 90 days, you should be able to have the understanding and a system in place where you can actually go from just having small one-on-one conversations to getting yourselves up to go at scale from there. So that's how you get it going, Joshua, from there. Okay. Chris says, if I understand correctly, you recommend using as much high-level messaging platform as a unified inbox, and then you can consider the apps like Lead Connector, Wave, etc. Yes. His main concern is deliverability, special email. We've actually not had a lot of issues with deliverability with email. We've verified our emails and our DNS and our sending. We do also have the ability to, with our team, to go use Instantly or there's another one that we were using for a little while as well. Those are all great to get like the initial response on if you're doing mass cold email and things like that. But we eventually move them into our high level and we keep everything inside the unified inbox for the reason that I've got multiple team members in there and I can't have them in multiple tools. I only want to give them one CRM to log into, and the BDRs that we have are experienced. They're not brand new off the street, never been cold calling, never had a conversation with a business owner before. They were experienced. When they got into the CRM, they saw how we stripped it down and really only gave them these pipelines. They were like, this is the coolest, smoothest thing we've ever had, because all the automations, everything run behind. But Chris, what works for you might not work for us. We use the unified inbox. We have email conversation with business owners. We get replies. If you're going to do cold outreach at scale, you can use high level. I know plenty of folks that have agencies that only use high level exclusively. I can tell you, we are always testing and trying different things, but that's what's worked for us. If you have other email outreach platforms that you want to use before they come in and get into the sales pipeline, and you have an opt-in, right, which is one of the pieces in our sales pipeline, you can do that as well. But we use it for our own stuff from there. And then we have 5 emails, which I don't know where Paul's question came from. Oh, there's Paul's question. How many emails? We have 5 that we're using right now, and they're from different subdomains. Is how Ben put in the Slack for me of how we're doing this. Okay. Freddie says, do I need to purchase the first answer formula? No, you don't. The engine and knowing where your lead sources are and knowing what you're going to offer is all you really need. You guys don't need to go out and buy everything and every piece. Figure out what works for you, what your offer is, where you want your lead sources to come from, and then you put them in this engine. Okay, this is that gap in the middle, like I showed in the very early of the slides, that everybody seems to be missing, which is the conversation engine piece, which is how to have more conversations more often every single day. All right, Steve says, hey, did I miss where we get the snapshot? Steve, I'll pull that back up for you. Let me go ahead and share my screen one more time. And then let's go ahead here. I'll pull this up, take myself off, put myself down at the bottom. Steve, you're going to go into the school classroom, go into school under everybody was added to this when you purchased. If you weren't already a customer, go to the classroom. You're going to go down into the conversation engine. And then this is a training call we're on right now. And then this is your sales pipeline snapshot. We went over this earlier. That's where it is inside of the training for you as we get in. So, all right, there is that. All right. Approximate costs per live meeting with a prospect. It depends on your lead source, right? So I own the lead list company, so it costs me, management fees from there. If I know people that were paying actually like £360, this guy was out of the UK for just 1,000 business leads. I'm like, what? From there, if you have Leadsly, you know what your cost is per credits. We're not doing paid ads in this scenario. We do run ads for our company, but what I'm showing you, if you're doing just DM outreach, talking to business owners, put them in there, your cost is whatever it is to get that lead, right? The conversations that we're having, the demos, those take about 15 to 30 minutes of Kevin's time. The better ones can go longer with bigger companies and things like that. But it really depends on knowing what your CAC is, your cost of acquisition of a customer, CAC, and what you're getting your lead source from. And that's what your cost per lead or cost per demo would be. And then Craig says, none of my email addresses were recognized. Okay, so Craig, if you just email support@reviewly.ai, I'll put that up again for you real quick. Just email support@reviewly.ai, or you can go to our main website and sign up. Just ask them if you have an account. If it doesn't recognize it, then you probably don't, but we can get you in there. Or just sign up for a trial. It's a 7-day trial for you as well. Then my conversation engine is locked. Okay, so Anthony, just DM me in school, and right after this call, I'll unlock you. And anybody else, if you have any other issues with not being able to get in, you're watching this later, this is our support email address. Email support@jeffherschy.com. We'll go in, we'll unlock you. You don't need to send us your receipt. Just let us know your purchase. We'll confirm your purchase, and then we'll put you in from there. But if you send us your receipt, it makes it a lot faster from there. And then Steve says, I have a startup snapshot for a different vendor. Do I need to delete that? No, you can delete, and it works differently, completely independent. So if you guys are using it as a sub account under somebody else, they may have to help you get it installed, which Ben's already going to talk to Jason's team on that. And then there should be no conflicts because it's all works separately and independently. The only conflict would be is if you have like the same tag or something odd like that. High Level will tell you of any conflicts when you go to install it. It actually checks for conflicts before you do that. And then I have a Reviewly agency account. Do you suggest we have our own business listed? I would actually, start using Reviewly for your own agency as well to build up your reputation from there. Craig, so yeah, I would make sure that you get that up. And then Steve says, thanks, Jeff. I don't know how I actually put that up for Steve, but you're welcome from there. All right. That's it. That's everything that we showed you guys we were going to do in the sales call. We've walked you through the snapshot, the extension, how it works. We went in some live accounts and showed you guys how, yes, we are actually using this and setting this up from there. And then everything else that we need is being good to go. Steve said that's a lot. Yeah, it is. But here's a really cool part about this. I'm going to tell you, it took Ben and I weeks to set up our high level account because of how we had to move over everything from another platform, get up and running. Once you do the setup and you build the engine and you build the system, you are now just optimizing it and tweaking it for yourself. You spend a little bit of time up front, putting in the effort, putting in the work, and it just runs. That is the best thing about software, right? If you have a system in place, which you now have our conversation engine access to that right now, you have the ability to do it once, set it up, spend a little bit of time going through it, making sure it works for you, test it. Maybe things will break. Maybe you don't like what we did here, or you want to do something else. Customize it and personalize it for you, your business, your offer, and then worry about just putting leads into the engine. And that's it from there. If you have any questions or anything moving forward, go ahead and just email our support team. We'll make sure that you have everything you need. We'll make sure that you guys are in there. There's no questions that are left unanswered. But, as you guys can tell, I've got a really great team that make me look good. Okay. Everybody that you guys saw on this call today are the ones behind the scenes on what we've sold you. Okay. I do not go in and move things and set things up. And Kevin will tell you, like, they look at my calendar until I moved off the sales calls, it was full. And I barely had time to eat lunch or to go through things before I had to go pick up my kid or something else happened from there. So I was able to find a team, and they're great. And they were able to set this all up for you guys, make it very easy, and make me look good showing you what we do, because they do this as we go through. Craig, you should have access to this. Yeah, they are the real rock stars, Raul. So, hats off to them, right? And a round of applause, because I want you guys to understand that, like, this isn't a one-man shop. Okay. You can run this as a solo agency, as a solopreneur, but at the scale that we're running, I can't just do this all on my own. With multiple portfolio software companies and an agency and teaching you guys, this is where my leverage comes from. Your leverage now comes from having this conversation engine where you can just log in, talk to the businesses that are interested, move people through the pipeline, let the automations, the AI and everything do the work for you while you're moving people down there set up. And if you have any issues with access, it should be in school. If you can't get access to it, let our support team know, or DM me in school and we'll unlock it for you from there. And then Chris said, great job, guys. It looks like it'll be super useful. It is. It is for our business from there. And Raul says thank you to you guys as well. So with that being said, have a great rest of your week. Spend a little bit of time right now setting this up, getting into your accounts, going through the trainings, and then start putting leads into your pipeline, into your conversation engine. The more conversations you have, the more opportunities you're going to create. Those opportunities create demos and calls. And because you're solving a problem for a business owner that knows who you are, they've seen you, you have the opportunity to then close that sale, help them close the gap, and get paid for it every single month. With that being said, have a great rest of your week, and we'll talk to you guys all real soon. Cheers.